It's just one of those kinds of days where it's so hot, and this rose bush thing needs fed. These buds have not opened in a week. That's irregular. But anyways, it's so hot you just kind of wish you still had a motorhome and you could just go on a long vacation, visit your kids, get away from all the work of your garden. These wild lilies are gorgeous, eh? They're really taking over my yard. They're growing everywhere, all along the fringes of the yard. The cabbages in this garden aren't doing as well as the cabbages in the other garden. But the tomato plants, and the corn, and this is sweet potato in these bags. Marigolds are doing great. Tomato plants this year are like trees. They're really healthy. I've got, and the ones that came up out of the compost are equally healthy. I need to weed my sage patch. The broccoli is producing its second set of heads. The cauliflower is just starting to take off. It was slow this year. The cucumber are really healthy, but this is the yellow tomatoes with onions and dills. These aren't weeds around the edge. Well, some of them are weeds. The beans were hard to get going. I had a really hard time getting those beans to grow. I had to plant them twice. This wasn't a great year for beans. My husband's working on this yard still, putting drainage in. We have to move the greenhouse. This is the second head on these, on most of these broccoli. The deal is doing good. These are going to be not a zucchini squash. They're going to be a butternut squash. And this tomato plant came up out of the compost, and it is huge. It's a climbing. It's got little tomato flowers on it. Some of the tomato plants have little green tomatoes. Eric told me to come pick that red cherry before the birds get it. But I think the birds got it. Oh, no, there it is. These are sweet black cherries, actually. There's another one way up there high that I can't... There. You see it? So, sweet black cherry. Anyway, it's really sweet. It's really good. There's a couple more on the tree I want to pick. But anyways, those lilies are everywhere. All across from the bee house. When I moved here, Mom had them by where I now have the studio. She had them there. But I moved a few plants to put here and there because they bloom well. And I thought, well, just put a few here and a few there. Well, they just multiply like crazy. They're like dandelions. The kiwi are slowly developing into fruit. But look at them, everywhere you look. Lilies. Lilies and more lilies. We got a huge amount of rhubarb. We have a neighbor coming over to get more today. The beets and the raised beds are doing really well. The blueberries are doing really well. The roses are amazing this year. This is actually a beet. It's a yellow beet. Some of them are doing really well, some not so well. I guess it depends on how much. Same here. The middles of the garden, for some reason, are doing really well. Sides, not so well. Eric says we actually have cantaloupe on here now, under these leaves, size of a golf ball. I can't see it, but he was weeding it yesterday and he saw it. The kale, we had to feed it yesterday. It should be bigger than this, and it's been eaten terribly by some type of bug. I don't know what the bug is, making holes in it. Moth of some sort, no doubt. Strawberries are done. There's more squash. Carrots are doing really well. Those are rows and rows of onions over there, where the garlic used to be, on this side of the rail fence. I need to cut this grass again. As you can see, the potatoes in this patch, we have two patches. This is Eric's weeding. This is yesterday's weeding. He's done a good job in the potato patch. But they're flowering. That's a good sign. The peas have little peas. I'll be picking them in a week. I don't know if you can see them or not. Little peas hanging on them. So the garlic are done. They're ready to harvest next week. This is my zucchini squash. It looked like it was going to die, and suddenly it just popped. We have a whole bunch of sour cherry trees coming up all around the cherry trees. So we're going to be giving away sour cherry trees. There's another one. It came out of the roots. Look at the size of this. That's a sour cherry tree. I picked my first raspberries yesterday. And so did Eric. He picked some too and ate them and didn't tell me. The peppers are being eaten by the same bug that's eating moth or whatever. It's eating mouse. Anyways, the raspberries are loaded this year. And it's going to be a good harvest. Now we had that good rain. These cherries are still red. They're not black yet. Can you see them? I don't know if you can see them or not. Some of them are still yellow, actually. But anyways, this is our first actually cherry harvest this year for that cherry tree. The sour cherry trees have done well. These tomatoes are like trees too, doing well. And these are my climbing beans. Some of them aren't climbing yet, some are. They make a long, and see that tomato plant? That came out of the compost. It's like 2 feet tall. This is supposed to be there. Anyways, I think we'll be giving away tomatoes this year. But anyways, the tomatoes are doing really well this year. It's been a great tomato year. And so are the berries. These are 2 different types of blackberries. The strawberries I said are done. But these are a thornless blackberry. Yeah, but they're seedy. These other blackberries over here have thorns that grab you when you walk by. And the seeds are so small you can't even notice them. They're like seedless, they say, but I'm sure they have seeds. And this is the first blackberry bunch we brought here. And all these other blackberries that we're growing that are thorny are from these, the offshoots. So all of these blackberries, see the soil's better here, and these 1, 2, 3, 4 raised beds, or at least 3 of them, are from that other patch. Eric's really good at the blackberries. And this patch over here, this is where our compost piles were. We used all that compost up. This needs its wood chips yet. Eric forgot this patch. These are a squash as well. Butternut, I think. And rhubarb that's not doing as well here. And marigolds I need to thin. And this mess here is going to be where the greenhouse is getting moved to. This is our pumpkin plants coming up which need watered. They're wilting. And this is sunflowers and wildflowers. And chickens who fight old chickens with young chickens. Old chickens are hiding in there. I don't know if you can see them. And young chickens are hiding under the growing stuff. Not sure what it is, but it's shady in there and they're happy. Laying hens, these are going to be meat birds actually. Laying hens, the grapevines are growing so well over the laying hen section, they're able to stay cool. They're very happy. All right, that's my tour.